What is the best red light therapy mask? Well, I tested 25 different masks looking at ease of use, comfort, power output, wavelengths, and value to determine which ones work and, of course, which one is the best. So let's meet the top performers. Really quick though, all of these masks were sent to me for free and I'm affiliated with them. If you purchase through my links, I do get a commission. Hey, now really quick, before we get into this, I actually filmed this video about 2 months ago, and since then, a few things have actually changed in the world of red light therapy masks, my understanding, and my experiences using some of these really good masks. So I decided I'm going to run the video as I initially planned, but be sure to hang around until the very end so I can provide some updates. And yeah, if you're watching this, don't rush off and buy anything until you've watched the full video because it's rather important. So there's 4 masks that I classify as gold tier red light therapy masks. So in 4th place, I have the Huga red light therapy mask. Now the main draw card for this mask is that it's so cheap. $152. Sure, it's missing out on a few bells and whistles, and the amount of LEDs is lacking compared to others, but it's got a strong dose using clinically proven wavelengths. It's comfortable to wear and easy to use. Oh, and did I mention the price point? In 3rd place, I have the Rojo Dorada LED mask. Now this is priced at $324, which I think is still very competitive, though it is the most expensive out of these top 4 masks. It is a very comfortable mask using a semi-soft shell. It has 5 wavelengths, including deep near-infrared, and it has pulsing. Its main downside is it's lacking coverage around the eye and nose area. Now, 2nd place went to the Nanoleaf Light Therapy Mask. This is another extraordinarily well-priced mask, coming in at $250. It has excellent red and near-infrared wavelengths, plus green and blue for those suffering from acne or eczema. The power output on this mask is perfect, so you combine the wavelengths with the power, you're going to get therapeutic anti-aging benefits. You're also getting over 400 LED chips in this mask. The only downsides, it may be a little bit uncomfortable for some and coverage quality could be improved. So that leaves the winner, and that's the Project E Lumelux Pro face mask. Now technically this came out with the same score as the Nanoleaf mask. However, even though it's a little bit more expensive, $315, I think this extra money is worth it. You see, the Lumelux has 800 LEDs, meaning you're getting amazing light coverage across your entire face. And not only are you getting the red, the blue, the green, and the near-infrared, you're also getting a deep near-infrared wavelength for deeper penetration. The power output is also really good. So here you have a mask that ticks all the boxes. Good coverage, good wavelengths, good power output, and I think a really good price point. But stick around to see how the other 21 masks ranked, also my best pick for those who don't care about the budget, and some further insights as to why these masks rose to the top. Okay, so I spent multiple months testing these masks, and I tested them over 4 key categories. The first was fit and ease of use. I literally wore the masks for multiple sessions. I marked them down if it was hard to breathe or talk or were uncomfortable. I then looked at how easy they were to operate. I mean, in the ideal world, you'd put the mask on, press start, and be done with it. But some masks do have some more advanced features, in which case that is cool, but they had to be easy to access with an informative manual. Then I used my spectrometer to determine what wavelengths were being emitted from each mask and also measured the power density. This shows me how much energy is being absorbed by the skin. Then I tested how well the light covered your face. In particular, I looked at 10 different facial areas around the top of your head, your eyes, your nose, your cheeks, lips, and the jaw, and I scored accordingly. Then finally, I factored in the price and peace of mind, the warranty and returns period, and how long the company has been in operation. And I will say it was a rather extensive process, so I hope you enjoy this content. Now, what was the logic behind this? Well, firstly, fit and operation leads to compliance. Secondly, the right power output and the right dosage leads to cellular responses. Thirdly, proper coverage leads to results. And then finally, most of us have a budget to work with. So the outcome of all of this was a rather extensive Excel spreadsheet, but here you can see the final standing showing 25 masks and their scores over each 4 rounds. Now, I should mention, I will be publishing reviews on every single one of these masks. Some are already up, some will be out soon, so be sure to subscribe. In those reviews, I go through every feature about the mask. What are the exact wavelengths? How well do the straps function? Do I break out in a sweat when using the mask? Is it suitable for travel? How easy is it to operate? And exactly what wavelengths and how powerful are the masks? And if hearing all of this is just overwhelming and you're thinking, Alex, I just want it done for me, help me out here. Well, I have put together a really good red light therapy mask buyer's guide resource. There's a link to it down below. Not only do you get my cheat sheet, but you also get access to a really cool mask shopping tool. Now, with 25 different masks out there are a lot of different features. There's a lot of different price points. There's even a lot of different wavelengths being emitted. So even though I've revealed the overall winners, I think it's important to touch on a few masks that perform exceptionally well in one or two areas. First up, if you want a mask that's packing a lot of wavelengths, you see red light and near-infrared light are the two gold standards when it comes to anti-aging and skin rejuvenation. However, the blue is really good for acne and eczema, and there's even some research that green and amber light show potential as well. Plus then you have your deep near-infrared, which penetrates further into the skin. So if you're someone that wants exposure to as many wavelengths as possible, then you have two options. Either the Rojo Dorado mask or the Project E Lumilux mask. Now, funny enough, these two masks scored in the top 4, so there's more reason to know that these are good masks. What about if you value comfort? Well, the highest scoring mask here was the higher dose mask, scoring 14 out of 15 points. It really was quite a pleasant experience using it, but that mask does lack in a few other areas. Fortunately, there were 6 other masks that scored nearly as high. These were the Mito Red Light Mito Clear, the Cure mask, the Block Blue Light masks, the Magellan mask, and the Hygge mask. All of these got 13.5 points out of 15. And there's Hygge again, the gold tier mask. All right, what about operation? You just want something that's foolproof. You put it on, turn it on, done. Maybe you want to get this for your grandmother, or maybe you're a bit of a technophobe, or maybe you just value simplicity. Well, the best scoring mask here was the Cure mask, scoring 9 out of 10 points. You see the battery and the controller are built into the mask. Simply put it on your face, press the button, away you go. It's actually a very popular mask, and if it had a few more LEDs, it would have performed well overall. Still, it's good enough that you will get results. All right, what about getting the most powerful mask out there? Now, it's important to note that more is not better when it comes to power, especially when we're trying to treat the skin. I cover this in more detail in my red light therapy buyer's guide. I'll put a link to that down below. But for some people, they do want more power. Maybe it's to penetrate deeper into the skin, but maybe it's because you plan on using this mask for other areas in the body. For instance, that sore shoulder or achy lower back. In that case, the Mesama Prana is the mask for you. This was putting out a whopping 54 milliwatts over centimeter squared at the LED. This is comparable to some red light therapy panels, though they are measured 6 inches from the panel. Still, if it's power that you want, this is the mask I recommend. One area where more is better is when it comes to LED chip count. You see, yes, it's important to get the right wavelengths and the right power output, but if we're not getting that light all over the face, it's not really going to work. Now, typically a mask that has more LEDs has better coverage. So the masks with the most LEDs are the Therabody TheraFace. This has 648 LEDs in it, but better than that is the Project E Lumilux mask with 800 LEDs. It's crazy how many LEDs are in this mask. To put this in perspective, the average LEDs out of all 25 masks was about 250. Now, you don't necessarily need this many LEDs. Personally, I'd aim for a mask with, say, 300 LEDs or more. Okay, we've talked about LEDs, but what about coverage? Let's say you want a mask that hits all the key areas on your face. Well, firstly, I'll just mention my red light therapy mask resource page. There's a link to it down below. Once you're there, you'll get a cheat sheet guide, but you'll also get access to my comparison tool. Now, the reason I bring this up is it's very useful for comparing, sorting, and finding the best mask for you. So for instance, if you want a mask that scores really well for eye coverage and nose coverage, you can go in and use the filters and find the best mask for you. Not only that, you can sort by price, power output, and all of the other metrics I've already talked about. Beyond that, you can click on the mask, see my overall summaries, and even download my raw scorecard with all my notes as I was testing the masks. Anyway, back to finding the best mask for coverage. The top 2 masks here are the Therabody TheraFace and the Lumara Viso mask. Both of these scored 11 out of 15, but there were also 4 masks that scored 10.5. These were the Nanoleaf mask, the Current Body mask, the Project E mask, and the Mesama mask. To be honest, all of these masks are good for coverage. However, again, if there's a particular area you want to treat, that's where my reviews or the comparison tool are going to come in handy. All right, what about the best mask for those on a budget? Well, here I can just simply sort by price. Now you'll see 2 standouts: the Amazon mask and the Temu mask. Both of these can be had for under $50 US, but both of these are not going to provide the results you're looking for. They're effectively toys, so we can forget about them. That leaves the Hygge, which came in 4th overall. So pretty much, if you're on a strict budget, get the Hygge mask. However, if you can stretch your budget a little bit more, Then we're jumping up to the Nanoleaf mask at $250. Remember, this came out second place. So personally, I think the extra money is worth it. But again, the Hygge at $150 is a really good bare basic red light therapy mask. Okay, let's say you're new to red light therapy. You've heard good things about these masks, but you're still unsure if it's going to work for you. In that case, this is where peace of mind comes into play. You want to get a mask that has a good warranty period from a company that's been running for a long time, and more importantly, has a really good returns policy. The best option here is Infrared. They tick all of these boxes and offer a 60-day return period. Other companies with a good returns policy are Mida Red Light, Project E with the Lumilux mask, Hygge, Amaro, Higher Dose, and iRestore. Actually, iRestore needs a special mention. You see, they have a 100-day returns policy, meaning you can get this mask, try it for 3 months, and if you don't notice any benefits, return it. That alone is quite a good selling point. So hopefully these special mentions and the tools I've referred to down below will help you in the quest to find the best mask for your needs. But if that hasn't helped enough, I do want to share some mistakes that a lot of people make when buying red light therapy masks. The first one is falling for the 7 colors in one. The research shows that for skin therapeutic benefits, it's really only red light and near infrared light that you need. The other colors do have potential, but they're not essential. Now, if you see any masks saying they use pink or purple light, just know that these are simply combinations of red and blue. So don't fall for the marketing hype. Next up, don't overpay for lasers. You see, lasers have their place in the red light therapy space, but they emit light in a very focused area. This is great if you're treating a particular area in the brain or a joint, but if you're trying to treat the whole entire face, pinpoint lasers are inferior compared to LEDs that disperse the light. Even worse than this, lasers are a lot more expensive. You may have noticed earlier that a lot of the masks with lasers in their name were also quite expensive. So save your money and stick with LEDs. Another thing to be wary of is the influencer and marketing hype that pushes a lot of these masks. You see some of these masks have huge markups on them, and influencers are offered lucrative deals to promote and say good things about the masks. I personally have been presented offers like this. I cover more about it in the video here, but just because your favorite beauty influencer is saying this is the best mask ever, doesn't mean that it is the best mask ever. And chances are it's not. So knowing all of this, let's boil it down. Let's make a really simple decision flowchart to help you get the best mask for you. Here's what I suggest. Firstly, pull up my comparison tool. It's going to be useful. Link is down below. Secondly, filter by budget. Know how much you can spend. Forget about any mask that is over your budget. Thirdly, only consider masks that have red and near infrared light in it. And if you do suffer from acne or eczema, then you may want to add the blue as well. Fourth, include masks that put out enough power. We want a dose ranging from 3 to say 15 joules over centimeter squared. This will filter out the junk gimmicks such as the Amazon and Temu products, and also the Ferrero mask, which you have to watch my review on that because that's an interesting mask. Okay, now we want to find a mask that has a good warranty and returns period. So you want a score of 3 out of 5 for peace of mind. And next up, I hand the keys over to you. What do you value more? Comfort, ease of use, coverage, quality. You've probably already narrowed it down to a few masks, so now just explore each option and find what you value most. If you want a mask that has good nose and eye coverage, for instance, a mask that has a big opening around the eyes is not going to be suitable. If you want a mask that can be folded up and is great for travel, then you want a soft shell mask. But I'm curious, which mask is the top of your list? You see, personally, as a result of all of this testing, I'm going to test the Project E Lumilux mask for 12 weeks. I'm going to do it before and after. So be sure to subscribe to find out my results. To use the Project E mask for an extended period is exactly what I did. And unfortunately, though the mask on paper does well, in practical terms, didn't hold up very well. I had issues with the strap, and I've also had issues with the controller. It meant I couldn't actually do a very good before and after test because literally I can't use it anymore. So given that, I can no longer recommend this as my go-to mask of choice, which is very disappointing, very. So what does this mean for mask recommendations? Well, fortunately, as I've already covered, there are some really good masks out there. However, it's come to my attention that on the horizon, there is the launch of a very good mask. I think it's going to be the best yet. In fact, it may already be out by the time this video goes out. Anyway, I'm going to put a link to a page where you can jump on my email list. And as soon as this mask is out, I'll be sharing it with you guys because from what I've seen so far, I've been given a few confidential details. I think it's going to be amazing. So jump on that list, stay tuned, and yeah, maybe hold off on buying the Project E mask. Talk soon.